What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be going over my week 2 of Cosmic Crucible, what worked, what didn't, and we're also going to be looking at my week 3 defense, and it's a spicy one. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Kicking off the week 2 recap, we've got my first fight here. It was Cabal, Kang, and Titania absolutely deleting an extreme with Rogue. 8369. Cabal is nuts. Please build them up. Also, whenever you use a Cabal in room 1, make sure Iron Patriot is a skirmisher because he will put ability blocks on everybody. He will also put trauma, so anybody who is a raider cannot clear that ability block, which makes this room much, much less scary. So a little pro tip for you guys there. Room number 2, we got Hivebind into Bifrost. Super straightforward matchup. You steal the energy from Sylvie. You go pew, pew, pew. Having a big red goblin is a pretty key factor to this, making sure he's big enough to get people low with his massive ult. Room number 3, we've got an Eternals going into a Infinity Watch. Didn't use APOC here because I had to use him in room 5 here. Room number 4, we've got a Sus comp going into the Superior 6 with Vulture. Unfortunately, I did not use the special first from Super Scroll like I should have. I should have specialed somewhere to hit and rewind Vulture. I also probably shouldn't have used Heroes here because that sped up Vulture more. But the rewind from Super Scroll probably would have taken care of that. Also, I had minions to kill for Mysterio to get more turn meter because of Mysterio. So a lot of misplays, a lot of stupid ideas here, honestly, and then cleaned up with Death Seed. Room 5, I used the New Warriors APOC against this massive Black Knight here. Out of time, kind of Quicksilver, Red Hulk thing. So I didn't take chances here. That's why that Infinity Watch is a little less efficient. And then Superior 6 against the Dorm, MLF, SD comp. So super easy, super straightforward. Defenses, my man absolutely struggled here. He took in something into one. Some kind of Eternals Undying. I don't know. Nowhere. War Dogs. Room 2, Hivebind does not beat Pegasus. A mirror matchup, even with Exhaust, did not work, which I thought was kind of baffling. And then he used Sus APOC. I don't know. I think this guy was just throwing stuff at the wall. Room 3, this one was pretty shocking for me. MOE losing to this Unlimited Noir Quicksilver room was pretty shocking for me. I didn't think this was going to work as well as it did. Essentially, I think his Absorbing Man was too small, and that was problematic because his Absorbing Man died pretty quickly because I got assists and Noir is pretty big and stuff like that. So then they were able to focus the other members of the team. So I think that hurt him. And then he came in with some more cleanups, ended up clearing it. Room 4, was able to Death Seed my Black Order Vulture. That's right. That's not good. So we're going to be changing room 4 when we talk about my spicy defense. Room number 5, we've got Cabal and Mr. Negative and Taskmaster into this. A 59, I'll take this if for an Infinity Watch getting a 59. I'm really liking the BK here. It just adds another layer of complexity to this room. And then room 6, he tried to New Warriors my MLF, Emma, and SD. Didn't work because it was a punch across. This is essentially as a gear check. So if you don't have a big enough New Warriors, this fight is not good. But if you do, it is a good fight. So that was a win. Round number 2. First attack, again, Kang, Cabal, Titania, deleting a Dorm Extreme. And this is what I have on defense in 1, or I have had on defense in 1. But you can see even on a 700k punch up and a pretty much fully decked out Extreme Dorm, it just gets deleted. So this is a great way to use this room. Again, Iron Patriot as a skirmisher. Specialing turn 1, puts the ability blocks, puts that trauma. Make sure you have him as a skirmisher in room 1 because of the room rules. Room 2, Bifrost into Pegasus. You take a butt whooping, then Bifrost comes back and just ends up deleting Pegasus. It works really well, even on a 700k punch up. I did take Vol to level 100. The rest are 95, and that's about it. You can see 16, Gear 17, Gear 18, and Gear 16. The Beta Ray build, Gear 18, is not a necessity whatsoever. It was just something I felt like doing, but he does do a lot of damage with his ult. Room number 3, unfortunately, this room did stump me a little bit. I should have brought in Echo over Dagger with my New Warriors, especially with how big this Noir was. This Noir was absolutely kicking my teeth down my throat. It was rough. This Noir took like 8 turns this match, and he was one-shotting most of my characters. So that wasn't fun. Came in with a Death Seed cleanup. That didn't work. And then came in with Tangled, Undying. Probably should have used some sort of Tangled first. Would have been pretty good. But I thought New Warriors would get it done. Room number 4, Sus and 4 villains, essentially just to go fast in this room because I knew it was going to be an efficiency battle. So I wanted to make sure I was going to be doing as much as I could in this room to just delete it quickly, which did work pretty well. On second thought, I probably could have used like a New Warriors BTS here. But unfortunately, I really needed BTS in room number 5. But maybe just a straight New Warriors here could have done well. And then using Sus here. But you live and you learn. And then room 5, we've got APOC Eternals, Big Time, and Nova against a G19 BK with Infinity Watch, 2.8 million. Dude, Black Knight pings, 60% damaged my Nova, one-shot my my Big Time Spider-Man. One ping dropped APOC below below like 40% health, and then the second ping put the trauma and the bleeds on him, and then he bled out from that. So 2 pings killed APOC, and then yeah, it was not fun. And then room 6, Superior 6 into the MLF Emma SD, and no matter how big the SD is, this just gets deleted. So going to my defense, room 1, he used Cabal, Mr. Negative, and Omega Red here, and it worked really well, a 65. So not having to use Kang or Titania here did pretty well for him, which was pretty nice. He does have a pretty crackened out Cabal, though. He's got a 7-6 Iron Patriot, a 6-6 leader, so take that with a grain of salt. Room 2, he flexed on me with a G19 Super Scroll when he could have just used Bifrost instead of using the Hive Mind. But again, when you have these many diamonds, you do what you want. Room 3, Superior 6'd my my Unlimited with Nova and with Noir and Quicksilver here. Room 4 was able to use MOE Doom here instead of having to use the Cabal, Kang, and Titania in one. Did really well here. Room 5 used APOC, just Cersei, Tangled, and then Big Time. I don't know what the thought was here. I think he messed up and didn't bring Icarus here. Could have been way more efficient there. And then room 6, again, it's a 200k punch down, so he's able to use New Warriors here. But it wasn't the safest fight. Gwenpool did die, so that is something to consider. But you can see this does win on some slight punch downs. So that was unfortunately a loss. Round number 3 was a spicy round. I won this by 3 points. This was an all-out efficiency war. So room 1, he had Unlimited with Black Knight, and I used Cabal, Sus, and OR here. I had Super Scroll. I didn't have Super Scroll slotted anywhere else, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to overkill this room because I'm not going to take chances with an efficiency sink because of the Black Knight pings. I still lost 4 points here because my Iron Patriot's just a wee lad. So that kind of sucked, but a win's a win. Bifrost into Pegasus. Again, super straightforward. We used MOE Echo into the Juicy room that he was recommending. The Noir Extreme, kind of the cheese to get him to go first. All the assists. He hits Absorbing Man. Echo stops the assists. You do need a big Absorbing Man here to make sure he can take a beating for a while. So I would recommend having a pretty big Absorbing Man to make sure he can stay alive and take the hits for a good minute so nobody important gets stunned or anything like that. Room 4, I can do it. New Warriors into Gamma. I can do it. That's right. I'm not completely inept. But he had Gamma with Omega Red here because it's the villain room. Pretty big Gamma, but I've got a pretty big New Warriors. Room number 5, APOC Eternals, Infinity Watch. Who cares? This is why I like BK with Infinity Watch because it adds another layer of complexity here. And then room 6, Superior 6 into the MLF, Dorm, and SD. And then let's get to the defenses here. We've got straight MOE taking out an Extreme Dorm, which I'm shocked this worked. This is really good. But unfortunately, this was an efficiency battle, and this is probably what cost him efficiency-wise. Room number 2, Bifrost into Pegasus. Again, it's a super straightforward matchup. Room number 3, he used Sus with Tangled, Quicksilver, and Nova. Took no chances in this room. No villains, though, so Sus does a lot less damage, so that kind of hurt him as well efficiency-wise. Room number 4 was able to straight New Warriors, my Black Order Vulture. Another reason why it's coming off of defense. Room number 5, we've got Cabal, APOC, and Vulture, and honestly, an 8366, but he had to use Cabal and APOC and Vulture here. I think this is a win in my books. And then number 6, obviously the SD going into the MLF, Emma, and SD. Once again, super straightforward fight, but I did get the win here. So let's look at my defense 3, week number 3. All right, coming into room number 1, we are going to be using an out-of-time Nova comp, obviously without Black Knight here. The thought process behind this is stall. This room is not going to stop anything, but I think what's going to happen is people are going to underestimate this room, and this is going to stall this room. We have a pretty big Cap on the side and Peggy on the side here, and Nova is also a tanky character. So my thought here is they underestimate it, and it just lasts longer than they expect. So that's kind of the goal with this room. I know absolutely nothing will stop this, but this is kind of what I had left over after making my defense. So that's why I made this room last, and I was like, you know what? Let's just throw my biggest characters in here. They're all level 100. They're all G18. They're all blue ISO 5 as well. So I was like, you know what? Let's just put a big room in here just to stop something, just to stall something, not stop anything, but it's something just to suck some efficiency because my other rooms are going to be the real stopping point for people. Room number 2, the first stopping block is going to be Extreme with Rogue. So this one is going to really confuse some people if they don't use exactly what you need here. And the problem is what they need is most likely on defense because everybody has been touting that Pegasus is great on defense because it gives you the most options. Unfortunately, Pegasus is the only really one-shot counter to this that doesn't involve Superior 6 and doesn't involve Super Scroll. So this room is really good because this forces your opponent into a Super Scroll here or a Superior 6 here if they don't have Pegasus on offense, which most people don't lately. So I am going to put this here, and we're going to see what happens. I think this room is really, really strong, honestly. Obviously, we got some really strong characters here. Extreme is such a good team. I dropped Sunspot, but I am using Sunspot in room number 3. Room number 3, nothing crazy here whatsoever, but what I am thinking here is Noir goes first. They all spawn with offense up. Because of the Sunspot here, he gives offense up to all X-Men allies, and he's going to essentially get some assists in here and do some damage, maybe get a cheese kill real quick. We've got some annoyances from Phoenix here with the special taking off negative effects from the allies. Obviously, Quicksilver here is just a nuisance because he's so big, and if he gets an offense up early or gets a speed up early from his passive, he's going to do some really, really crazy things, which is cool. The Dazzler here is going to flip some stuff if she gets to her ultimate. And then I have both of these two in the back line because Phoenix and Dazzler are my lowest characters. So if they die, then they're gonna put my bigger tunes on 3 different islands. So then any primary and adjacent damage won't do anything, which is nice. Phoenix is going to be gear 17, I think level 90 or 95, and then Dazzler's level 90, gear 17 as well. And then we've got gear 18 Sunspot, gear 18 Quicksilver, and gear 18 Noir, all level 100. Once again, this room is not going to really stop anything, but if somebody doesn't think and doesn't take an Echo in here, then it's going to drop some efficiency because I can get a quick cheese kill, which is nice. It also gets to use Sunspot here for those offense up. Quicksilver is also good, and then Noir, obviously, with the Quicksilver, because Noir is taking so many turns, can really throw some RNG into this. So that's why I'm keeping this in room number 3. All right, room number 4, and this one is the spicy, spicy meatball. That's right. So we've got Tangled, Super Scroll, Vulture, and Omega Red here. So my thought here is Tangled is not being really used on offense. You saw when I went over my attacks for last week, I only used Tangled once, and that was on a cleanup. I didn't use them at all in week number 1, and I finally found a place for them, and that's going to be in room number 4. I know room number 4 only affects villains, but they are here just to cause problems. So with Tangled in the back line here, they're going to be getting energy from any primary and adjacent damage. So they're going to be getting that speed up, that energy, the turn meter, all that kind of stuff. They're going to ult. They're going to put some blinds. They're going to put some charges out there. And then you're thinking, oh yeah, new warriors goes into Tangled, right? Yeah, don't bring new warriors into Super Scroll because Super Scroll destroys their day. So that's why I have the Super Scroll in here. I do think this is going to pull a Cabal real quick, but I'm okay with that because people have been trying to use Cabal on my room number 5 Infinity Watch with Black Knight. So if they can't use it there, then it's going to make their room 5 less efficient. And I feel like people are going to underestimate this room, even though it has Super Scroll in here. And they're going to come in and just go, well, I use Super Scroll and I'm just going to go boom. Good for you. Please try it. Or they're going to like do a Super Scroll Cabal, and I'm okay with that. So I know I'm losing Super Scroll for offense, which is really unfortunate, which is why my room 2 is what it is, because anything that they put on defense, I can one-shot it no matter what they put. So I don't need Super Scroll as an insurance policy for room 2, but they might. So they might need Super Scroll to clear room 2, and then they won't be able to use it here. Obviously, Vulture's going to ult turn 1. He's a super big nuisance as well. He's really massive. And then Omega Red is also going to ult turn 1, which I think is really awesome. Omega Red's still one of a top tier character, honestly. I think he's incredible. So room number 4, I'm super excited for this one. I'm really, really interested to see what people try to throw into this. Coming into room number 5, that's right, we're sticking with the Infinity Watch Black Knight. And the reason why is because this takes nothing from my offense, but still pulls something like APOC Eternals, Cabal, big things that really, really are going to be needed elsewhere. You're probably going to need Super Scroll in 2 if you don't have Pegasus. You're probably going to want to use Cabal in 4. You're not going to want to use APOC here unless you really, really, really have to. And if you use APOC Eternals here, I'm okay with that. Then you won't have APOC for other places. So not having, making people put APOC Eternals in here is really, really the thought behind this room, or throwing Cabal. The Black Knight adds a layer of difficulty to this room and a layer of damage to this room that really, really helps out. You saw when I was going over my defense for last week, a lot of people were throwing Cabal in here and it was only getting like a 59. And then people were throwing APOC Eternals in here and something else, and it was like a 65, which I'm okay with. You want to use APOC Eternals and only get a 65 here? Cool. I'll use APOC Eternals and get a 70 on your Infinity Watch. So I'm up by 5 points on efficiency. So that's my thought process here. The only other thing you could do with your Black Knight on defense, personally, is put them with Superior 6. They are an absolute nuts room. I would say if you don't want to run this in 5, I would say put full Infinity Watch here and then put Superior 6 and BK in 1 to make your defense even better. But then you are losing Super Scroll and Superior 6 for offense, and I think that's just too much to give up personally. But what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe next week I'll see I didn't really need Superior 6, and putting more on defense would have benefited me more. But we'll have to wait and see until next week's video. But for right now, let's look at what we have in room number 6. And then finally, in room number 6, surprise, surprise, I'm going to be running the Dorm MLF SD comp. And the reason why is I'm realizing I'm getting to a point in my brackets where everybody's got new warriors big enough to punch down on the Emma MLF comp. The Emma MLF comp, again, is good if you are going against people with smaller new warriors. If you're in like gold, platinum, stuff like that, it is still a good defense, so I do still recommend it. But I'm starting to get to a point where people have 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 3 million new warriors, and they just delete it, and it gives them a free room. So I'm going to run the Dorm MLF SD comp. Make sure your MLF is on the corner behind the Black Cat. Also, making sure Robbie is a striker here is essential. You'll see I have Skirmisher on Morgan Le Fay to land more ability blocks and more debuffs as well. Also, I don't want her as a striker, taking away some much needed vulnerables for either Black Cat or Robbie, because they're way better to take to do striker attacks for. Obviously, Skirmisher on Hardlight, and then I have Raider on Dormammu. I think Raider is top tier on him. Got to remember, his special hits primary and adjacent, his basic hits everybody, and then his ult hits everybody twice. So I think his ult and everything else makes him a really, really good Raider. Also, it's going to give more vulnerables for a Black Cat and a Robbie to absolutely pop off. All right, gents, that's going to be my defense for week number 3. Let me know what you liked about it. Let me know what you didn't. Let me know if you're going to tweak some things. Also, let me know the results if you're going to copy it and how it's been doing for you. Don't forget to look down in the description. We have an invite, obviously, to me and Juicy. We have a Discord for any Cosmic Crucible help you guys may need. Also, if you find a fun fight that you were able to do, a cool counter, you could submit it in the Crucible submissions channel as well, and you can get featured on the spreadsheet and be part of my Counter Everything video. There's also the counter sheet down below to help you guys with all of your Cosmic Crucible needs down in the description once again. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.